What's up, Hanz family? Today is the start of my Game of Thrones series. Hell yeah. I will add a disclaimer for each tutorial to help people out so the show isn't spoiled for anyone, so watch for that. The Mountain finally took his helmet off, that little undead head of his, so here's the makeup that was underneath. It was only a glimpse of it, but we're gonna make it work, so let's get started. P.S. I was super sick while filming this, so please don't judge my resting bitch face too hard. I began with a bald cap already on, which I left out of the video since I clearly am not that great at it. I was able to grab a few quick screenshots from the show. I found one online, had to watch it over to actually take a picture on my phone with one of them, so do what you gotta do. His face is all scarred up and kind of zombified, so we need to create that illusion with some silicone. This is 3rd degree. My jars are now empty, but I do show you how to prep this in my Mad Max tutorial. I would suggest using a palette knife to first adhere it to your skin, but I just decided to go for it with my finger. Look at your reference picture to make sure you have the placement about right, and keep layering it to create that rotting flesh effect, and blend out the edges just a bit with a small brush. I know some artists, like Goldie Starling, even use a little bit of alcohol to blend this out to your skin even more. This stippling brush is going to be your best friend in this look because it is great at making the texture of the silicone match your skin as it starts to dry a little bit. Cream makeup works very well on top of prosthetics, so to achieve his gray tone, I mixed the blue with a very light cream foundation. You could use white instead, but I just decided to go for a foundation. Buff this all over with a dense brush for a full coverage look. Make sure to continue this all over your ears, down your neck, and on top of your bald cap. You want to set this now with a very generous amount of powder because cream makeup does need to be set. Sir Gregor, the Mountain, is a big burly man, so we need to create his features, which include some very angry wrinkle lines and some big ol' eye bags. Especially when he's all undead. He definitely looks a little messed up. Alcohol paints do give a very realistic feel, so we will be using these for most of the look. Stipple on some yellow for the start of some bruising, and now we will be doing a technique I learned from my booze here on YouTube, Max. You're going to want to take one of those shitty makeup wedges, they're super cheap, and you're just going to pull out small patches on top to create a textured surface, which will pretty much simulate the look of veins when applied. I even added a little paint just to show you how it looks. As I was doing this, I feel that the patchier the sponge, the better. First, apply some blue, and then tap out the color to really make it look like it's under the skin. The more alcohol you use on this paint, the more muted it's going to be. You want to layer it in little clusters all over your face and your bald head, and then switch to a deep red to really build up the color. And if you mess up a little bit and the color is way too intense, you can always add a little bit of foundation on top just to mute it down again. Using that same color wheel again, fill in some of the deeper holes around your mouth with dark red. These are the pieces of his face that seem to be kind of diseased, where his skin is just falling right off. You know, kind of gross. I'm now switching to a gray eyeshadow to start to blend out these lines we had put down, just to define these wrinkles even more to bring them out. Keep checking back on that reference picture of his face. I even grabbed a regular picture of his normal face before he was all undead, just to make sure I was kind of in the realm of how he looks. Really intensify those furrowed brows, because again, he's one badass dude. I mean, dear God, he literally crushed Oberyn Martell like he was nothing. That shit was crazy. I even added a little contour in the temples of the forehead, and the shadow can even be used on top of the bald cap just to give a little more dimension and kind of some grime looking to it. You probably won't have to worry about this if your bald cap application was up to par, unlike mine, but I did add in some forehead lines to attempt to hide and take away from that horrendous line. And it kinda semi-worked, but you know, live and learn. Draw out his armor using a white eyeliner pencil or a color of your choosing, and then now starts the paint job. With water-activated paints, I filled in his armor with gold and then his little ascot thingy with red. Maybe it's just his shirt underneath the armor that's kind of wrinkled up at the top. No, I'm gonna say it's an ascot. Because come on, he's pimping in this armor, let's get real. With a brown eyeliner pencil, I did sketch out the features of his armors just to give myself a general outline of where everything is, and because I am using brown shadow after this, it will be really easy to blend. This dark brown powder will really show up on top of the gold and give it that brassy feel. Keep the shadow towards the back of the armor, bringing it forward to blend it into the gold. In the photo, it's obviously three-dimensional, and so we're trying to achieve that with the use of makeup. So using a lot of shadow to add in as much dimension as possible to every bend and curve of the armor will really give it that realistic look. And then switch to the black cream paint to darken out the shadows so it looks even more realistic. Keep the shadows underneath the intricate details on the front of the armor since the light would be shining down. Though the gold water activated paint will kind of catch the light here and there and look shiny, adding that shadow will really make it intense. Just do your best to try to think of how the light and darkness would move on the metal in real life. We also want to add in a few wrinkles on the red fabric itself because it is bunched up on his neck. Doing this is pretty simple because all you have to do is just draw a black line, blend that out a little bit, mainly keeping the black in place though, because where that black is where that fabric has gone downwards into a ruffle. Really, you only need a couple of these to make it look like actual fabric. Now my favorite part, highlighting. It brings everything together, and you can do this by just using that same light foundation we used earlier. Put it in between the wrinkles and towards the high points of the face, even on his little kind of torn up pieces on the side. For the metal, focus it towards the middle because as metal moves, it remains darker at the back and catches the light towards the front, aka the middle. Every little feature in itself would also have just a little bit of light on it too. Same goes for his ruffled fabric, add just a little bit in between each black line. Cream paints are great because they will pretty much blend out to work with any color you're using. Now we're gonna use some lube. Wow, 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 wow. In the picture I took, he does look kind of bloated and slimy, so using lube or oil will give you that really shiny effect. Alright, I have been dying to use this product for so long now, and this is eye blood. Make sure to take out your lenses and drop a little into your eye. It's actually really comfortable, surprisingly, but use caution when applying it. I did have to reapply it a few times because my eye would kind of just eat up the color. Since it's your eyes, always be careful and follow every direction on the label. And that, you guys, is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm so excited to show you my other Game of Thrones characters I have in store. I hope you're going to be surprised, and I hope you'll love it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!